6.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to TnB, Season 1, Round 1, in our new Project Cars 2 Championship. We found ourselves at Hockenheim for Round 1. The original Hockenheim. So, a lot of memories around this circuit. We're just joining at the end of qualifying. Waiting for everybody to finish up. 86 seconds remaining on the clock. Can have a look at the runners. So far we've got in first place Nizmax. Went around in a 2:07.8. Then we've got Gavin in second. Half a second behind. Pretty close. Third place. Got TnB DW. That's 2.8 seconds off the pace. Just missing something around the track. Still looking for it. Trying to get all the mileage you can during this session. Got the judge in 5th place. It's 5.8 seconds behind. So it's a rather big gap. But it's an endurance race, and we know that it's not all about where you're going to start on the grid. That seems to be it for the qualifying session. We've got your top 3. It's Nizmax, finished on that 2:07.8. Gavin, second, the 2:08.3. So only 4/10 of a second really in between the two of them. It's pretty close. TnB DW in third, with a 2:10. So missing a bit of pace there. And then in 4th place, we've got Toki. 5th place, the judge. 6th place, Death Seeker. And then 7th place, we've got Wimpy, who didn't manage to get a lap in.
Hey Jonathan.
Hey man, are we about to start?
Yeah, 30 seconds to go and then the formation lap starts.
Okay, but no, it just took a while. I was a bit worried. Thought I'd
Now is
disconnect it.
everybody getting their setups, the setups ready, all that kind of stuff. So it gives you about a 1 minute 30 seconds time to ready up.
Okay, so As I understand it, you better be careful on this formation lap.
Yes, yeah, you need to keep to the speed limit. I think it's 120 km per hour, otherwise you get penalties. Oh no, there's a promotion lap. Okay. Anyway, Jonathan, let me go.
Okay, here we go. Good evening again, and welcome to Hockenheim. We've just started, we're on lap 1. Got a bit of a battle at the front between Gavin and Nismax. Obviously racing and endurance, it's a completely different experience. And it's not always about the battle on track. Got a lot to do with strategy and a lot to do on what you're planning to do down the road. At the moment, as it stands, Nismax leads the pack. He leads it from the vet. So you got the Red Bull Audi team in first and second at the moment. In third place, you got Death Seeker. Fourth place, Gav. So he's lost a few places there on the first lap. Fifth place, the Judge. Just battling a little bit here on lap 1. And then in sixth place, we have Vimpy. Yeah, he had a rough time of it in qualifying, didn't manage to get a lap in. So let's see how his race goes. He really seems to be having a difficult time. Let's ride with the leader. In fact, let's ride with second place. Second place, Death Seeker. Gavin in third place, right behind him. And Death Seeker runs wide there into the final corner. And Gavin will easily retake second place. We have someone coming into the pits. It's TnBDW coming into the pits. Not really sure what the problem is. Obviously not part of the plan this early on. Something went wrong. Let's ride here with Vimpy. He's also having a difficult time now turning into the pits for what will be the first of, let's hope, not too many pit stops. In sixth place, we've got the Judge. He's that car does not look fantastic. It's missing a few items. Well, let's go back to Nismax, leading the race now by 3 seconds. Seems to be in control. Again, we're at the classic Hockenheim ring, which has been brought back to life by Project Cars 2, and we've brought it in as round 1 because what a special track. Used to be 6.8 kilometers in length, just 16 corners. 16 corners and 6.8 k's. Obviously this track has not been used since 2001. Really one of those tracks I'd like to see brought back. But having seen the state of the circuit recently, it doesn't seem like a possibility. Kevin's still running in second. 3.5 seconds, make that 4 seconds. He's run very wide, one off circuit, but he's got quite the gap to Dead Seeker. Dead Seeker having a relatively clean race till this point, in third place. Don't see a lot of damage to the bodywork of that car. Now we're going to ride in the cockpit with DW, so we can get a better idea of what this looks like. So down the straight, now you brake right into the stadium section. Not the way he wanted to go into the stadium section, but doesn't seem like too much harm done. I think I must get out of his car. Something is not going right. Right, let's go on board with Death Seeker then. And if Death Seeker starts crashing, I need to get out of the cockpit. How did that happen? He shouldn't even be able to hear me. Riding on board with Gavin in second place. You can see Nismax in front of him. It's a visual gap. Just 3.4 seconds. As I say that, he hits the curb. Probably a little bit harder than he would have liked. Loses a bit of time. Now they enter the stadium section. Fantastic part of the race circuit. Part of the race circuit that's still there today on the new Hockenheim ring. Now that gap went from 3.5 seconds getting closer to 4 seconds, so Gavin's just making a few errors there through the stadium section, and it's cost him about half a second. This Max just seems very comfortable. Let's see if he starts making mistakes when we ride on board with him. One thing you'll be happy to see is that rearview mirror with nothing in it. Yeah, he goes into the center chicane here. A little bit deep on the brakes, but no harm done. Very comfortable at the front. And that gap now 3.6 seconds, so very stable here between first and second. And remember, in endurance racing, it's not always about track position. It's about time and conserving your tires, your fuel. You could be on a completely different strategy, and track position may not be important at this time. It might only come into play later. Let's have a look at some of the timing. The fastest lap so far, it goes to Gavin actually, 209.4. Fastest lap at this point at 209.4. Might be mistaken, but I think the Formula One lap record around Hockenheim, or the original Hockenheim, not the present one, I think it was last set by Montoya, and it was in the 140s, somewhere in the 140s. I'll have to check. It just shows you the speed of those cars. Nothing slow about what these guys are doing. They're approximately 30 seconds slower than a F1 car around the circuit. Half a minute a lap. Tell you that Gav is flying at the moment. It's just set the fastest second sector of the race. Let's have look what Judge is up to in 6th place. Still keeping it on track, still going around. Obviously did some repairs in the pit lane. Car looks a bit better than last time I saw it. It has bonnet now. He's 7 minutes adrift, so obviously had a very eventful beginning to his race. Let's have a look at 5th. Got Pimpy in 5th. Still battling around this track. Hasn't found his sweet spot. And as I say that, commentator's curse spins around onto the grass. And Judge now 3 minutes adrift from 5th place, Wimpy. Go to 4th place, another jump up the road, 2 minutes up the road in fact, with TnB DW running in 4th for the Red Bull Audi. Still a long way to go. Interesting to see how this plays out. Not quite sure what happened at the start. We did lose quite a lot of time. Maybe multiple pit stops. Got to third. About a minute and 10 seconds. Minute 10 up the road. Get dead seeker. Going over the curb there. Not really sure what's happening. Either the guys are having a difficult time around Hockenheim, or every time I look at a driver I give him the commentators first. Riding on board now with Gavin. He's come right up behind Nizmax. Oh no. That did not go well. Unfortunately I didn't get a good camera angle of that, but there was definitely contact. And Nizmax found himself on the inside of the chicane, stationary. Right on board with Nizmax now. Windscreen heavily damaged. Wonder now if he's got damage. Wonder if Gav's got damage. He went over that curb pretty hard. Now Nizmax does come into the pits. Having a good race up until that point. Right on board with Gavin, our new leader. Now the next couple of laps need to be clean. As Max has come into the pits, he needs to maximize, get as much as he can out of this. Have a look. Nizmax still in the pits. Dead Seeker will surely catch up soon. Let's see where Dead Seeker is. Nizmax still stationary. Dead Seeker now coming over the start finish line. So surely he'll take second place. Having a look at some of the penalties here, see if there are any penalties. The only penalty I can see is for the judge. And if I'm reading that correctly, that's a 50-second penalty. Not quite sure what he did to deserve that. Nizmax now back on circuit. Gonna have to deal with that terrible view through that cracked windscreen for the next hour and 10 minutes.
Jonathan.
ADW. Of a driver. Just joined us in the commentary box. Technology, right? How's your race going?
It's difficult actually, as I got a jump start, and that's why I had a drive-through penalty at the first lap.
And what about the classic Hockenheim circuit? It's not as forgiving as some of the newer F1 tracks that we see today.
No, definitely not. And I'm sure you've seen I've been oversteering a lot. My tires just couldn't get hot enough. I was on the hard slicks. And then I decided to put for a second time to put on soft slicks, and now it's going better. So now I want to see if I can catch Death Seeker.
And actually gives me a lot of different camera angles. And riding on board with you, yeah, no, this is not a view I would like to see for an hour and a half.
I see Gavbook also maybe has damage. Him and this Max collided. But yeah, let me leave you to it. Let me see if I can catch Death Seeker for that final podium place.
100%, enjoy.
Thanks.
Now let's rejoin the race in second place. Right on board with Death Seeker as he approaches the stadium section. But we've got Gavin in the pits. Let's just have a look. Now he is exiting the pits. Let's see, where's Death Seeker? Oh, he's only at the hairpin in the stadium section. It looks like Gav will reclaim the lead. Max now in third place after that contact into what I believe was the Clark chicane, first chicane on the circuit. I think that's the Clark chicane. That was where they had their collision. But seems like Nizmax came off second best. Sustained a lot of damage, had to come into the pits. Quite a lengthy pit stop, and it's allowed Gavin to get basically a minute in front. Death Seeker going around in second place. He's had a good race actually. Quiet race. Stayed out of trouble. And finds himself in second place. As I say that, takes the curve a bit too hard, gets a bit of grass. And again. Guy's not mastering these chicanes just yet. There's TnB DW heading down the straight towards the center chicane. And that's nicely done around the center chicane. I think we'll be happy with that. Now this time in the stadium section a lot cleaner, a lot smoother. And he'll be working on chasing Nismax down. So he needs a few more of these laps. That was a nice clean lap. Now I can say that he's on the straight. Nismax in third. 34 seconds adrift from Gavin. There's your race leader. He's done 12 laps. Had a bit of a controversial moment earlier, but unfortunately I didn't get a good camera angle on that, so I'm not even sure what happened. I just saw them going into the chicane and the camera kind of went funny. Oh no. As I say that, not quite sure what happened to Gavin there. He was coming into the pits, and I don't know if he took his hands off the steering but basically just drove straight into the pit wall. And yeah, no, his windscreen's got the same problem as Nismax, and he's probably got a bit of damage there in front. Probably going to be a longer pit stop than he would have wanted. I was just about to say that's going to promote Death Seeker to first place, but it's not. As I say that, he comes into the pits. And there we go, he's parked right behind Gavin. And Nismax is on the pit straight. He's going to pass them both, and he's going to reclaim the lead of this race. Let's see, where is TnB DW? He's coming around the final corner onto the pit straight. And Toggy Deadseeker is stationary, and so is Gavin. So Nismax first, TnB DW second, and that shows you how quickly things can change. Let's go and have a look at 5th and 6th place. Having a race of their own. Gimpy is 5 minutes and 40 seconds behind the leader. And then 20 seconds behind him is the judge. Remember, it seems the judge has got a 50-second penalty. So, we'll have to keep that in mind if he wants to finish above Gimpy. Deathseeker's still in the pits, still stationary. Gavin back out on circuit. His windscreen looked so much better than that before he went into the pits. I've spent some time on track myself with this game, and I can tell you it's unforgiving. We've got an hour remaining on the clock, which means we're a third of the way. We've done 14 laps. So if we're a third of the way... Oh no, I'm not doing maths right now. Today is not the day for maths. Maybe another time. Where's my calculator? Okay, there we go. That's what I thought it was, but I didn't want to say it. So if they carry on this current pace, we should see around 42 laps. Actually a bit more than I thought. It's quite a long circuit. Just to clarify that earlier Formula 1 lap record around here was set by Jean Pablo Montoya in the Williams BMW 141.8. It's a somewhat different pace. Right, with your leader. He was the leader and he got involved in a collision and made his way back to the lead. This race has had its ups and its downs for everyone. I think I see a penalty next to Wimpy's name. Let's just see what that's about. Well, Wimpy has a 1 second penalty. That 1 second time penalty is for exceeding track limits. That gap between first and second currently at 19 seconds, getting closer to 20. But at this point it's so difficult to say what's going to happen. Don't really know who's on what strategy, who's planning what. So yeah, Gavin is coming to the pits from third place, and Dead Seeker is in the pits with him again. So something happening there with Dead Seeker's race. Not quite sure. Has he gotten out on track, or has he been in the pits this whole time? We'll keep an eye on that. Seems to be something wrong there with Dead Seeker. He's been in the pits for way too long. It's actually allowing 5th place Wimpy, 6th place Judge to catch up. That's how long he's been there. Yep, still sitting in the pits. Gavin has rejoined the track, but he's left Dead Seeker there in the pits. So something not right there. Judge has also now come into the pits. the two Audi runners in first and second. A good result for the team. The Constructors Championship. Gavin now lies in third place, and he seems to be 2 minutes adrift, so a lot of work needed to be done on the pit stop. Lost a lot of time. Keep on just checking on Dead Seeker, but I wonder now if he's left. There's no movement on that car whatsoever. Max now beginning to stretch that lead at the front. "23 seconds now the gap. The gap can play tricks on you here in Hockenheim. Basically, if you've got one car going through the stadium section and you've got another car down the road going up sector 1, that gap suddenly increases and then stabilizes, so it can trick you. As you can see, it's come down from 23 to 21. Evans there in third. Just needs to string some clean laps together, some good lap times. We've seen he's got pace. He's got a lot of pace. Not so long ago he had the fastest lap of the race. Let's have a look at some of those times. Fastest lap of the race. Yes, it's Gavin. It's 2:08.6. And that's actually 1.2 seconds faster than the next fastest lap, which is a 2:09.8. So it's got some serious pace. And now he's got a good opportunity to string some good laps together. He's got a lot of clean air, a lot of space. Wonder if Nismax made any sort of mistake. That fell briefly for 20 seconds. Seems like he's just trying to get past, trying to lap the car here. And, well, he's trying to lap Wimpy. And now he gets through, but won't be having a difficult time back to the tarmac. There we go, back on the tarmac. You can get going again. I tell you that the judge has retired. So, not sure what happened there. It's not usually one to get frustrated and retire. So, just got a interesting little message here on my race feed, and I must apologize, it's the first time I'm broadcasting on this game, so every now and then something pops up and I'm like, what is that? I see a mechanical fault for DW, so not really sure what that is, but maybe when he's got time later he can you come back and just let us know what that is. TnB DW mechanical fault. No, we ride with Mismatch. Leads this race quite comfortably now, 45 seconds. Watch now, TnB, does he have damage? Is he coming in? Yes, that's what he's doing. How far behind is Gavin? Gavin is quite a way behind. Now we don't know the extent of the damage, we don't know how long is this pit stop going to be. Power of Death Seeker still sitting in the pits, hasn't retired, just sitting there. Very strange. Seems like Gavin also has some sort of penalty. Let's just check on that. And that's a 2-second penalty. There's Max now coming into the pits. TnB's out on circuit, but that's 3.5 minutes. Oof. And as I say that, spins around. And yeah, the wing that was on the back of that car is no longer there. So that car just became very difficult to dodge. Let's get the camera away from him. Let him get back on circuit. And as I say that, Nismax drives over DW's wing. He literally just drove over it. Unless that's another one of his wings, but I'm pretty sure it was his wing. Yeah, it definitely was his wing. Because there DW is now, gets out of the way. Nismax will go through on the inside. Just going around really slowly. Needs to get that car back. Gavin's coming up behind DW. DW's not going to put up a fight. It's really no point. Just he wants to get that car back to the pits. Doesn't want to damage it any further. Damage it any further and pit stop's going to get longer. Obviously now with Judge retiring, we just have the 5 runners, and I'm not particularly sure about that 5th runner. He's been in the pits for the last 13 minutes. So looks like we've just got the 4 runners. Nismac still leads now by 1.5 minutes from Gavin. 3rd place, TnB DW. Had a busy race. Got Fimpy in 4th, still holding on, doing a good job. After the qualifying session that he had and the first couple of laps that he had, a lot of drivers would have left. So doing a great job just to keep a cool head and keep pushing forward. It actually seems to be looking a bit more comfortable. I can confirm now that Death Seeker has retired. So just the 4 runners. 4 runners, 2 of them have penalties. But in the grander scheme of the endurance race, they're not very big penalties. Gavin's just got the 2-second penalty, and Wimpy has the 1-second time penalty. Nismac's now 4.5 minutes clear of 2nd place, which is Gavin. Gavin was in the pits. He's now leaving the pits, rejoining the track. These timings are really playing a lot of tricks on me. TnB DW, despite the ups and downs of the race, finds himself on the podium. He's had the retirements of Judge and Death Seeker. So just 4 runners from the 6 that started. Let's hope to see them all day in 40 minutes from now. And it seems Nurse Max has also picked up a 1-second penalty. So everyone on track has a penalty, except DW. And Nurse Max beginning to push. He just did the fastest 3rd sector of the race, and then immediately afterwards got his time penalty for track limits. So obviously starting to push, see how far he can take it. DW also the only man on track to have a undamaged windscreen. Let's hope I haven't jinxed him. But Nesmax still in first place on lap 25 now. He's 2 minutes and 40 seconds clear of second place. Second place, let's go have a look. That's Gavin. Still going around after an eventful race. He's had some pit stops, some crashes, but finds himself on the second step of the podium. And I'm sure he'd like to finish there. TnB DW still going around in third place, holding on to that podium position. He should be able to hold on to it. Quite a substantial gap behind him. 5 minutes 20 seconds. And then Wimpy just come out in fourth place to make up the final runner. Gavin is retired from the session. Can't tell you what happened, he just disappeared off my screen. Well, have a look if we can get any information on that, see what happened. Well, I'm sure the chat groups will light up, and then I'll be able to give you some information. Means TnB DW obviously moves up into second place, and Wimpy, who's had quite the race so far, you could land up on the podium just by sticking it through. Nicely done. This map seems to be in control for the time being. Well, I can tell you now we've got 30 minutes remaining on the clock, which means we've done 2/3 race distance. We started with 6 runners. We've lost 3. It's 2/3 distance, and we've lost 50% of our starting grid. Nizmax comes into the pits. His gap there to second place, 3.5 minutes. So we'll see how long does he stay in the pits, how long, and how much can DW close that gap. Does he need to stop again? Let's have a look. Got a lot of fuel in that car. But it should be enough fuel to take him around for 30 minutes. I'll have to keep our eyes on that. This map's still stationary. Gap now 2 minutes 50 and obviously coming down as you stay stationary. Here we have Wimpy going around in third place. I think he can be happy with that result if he finishes there. Not bad for round one. Get an early podium. As Max now leaves the pits. I tell you, TnB is 19 seconds behind in second place, so now 20. So that gap, similar to what it was earlier on in the race. And there the gap suddenly changes before my eyes. I do apologize. But I'm trying to get used to these timing schemes. Let's just clarify those gaps now. This Max is your leader. He's on lap 27. TnB is in second place, 2 minutes 16 seconds behind. And then you've got Wimpy in third. Almost 8 minutes adrift. Is Max passing Wimpy on circuit yet again? This time seems to be being moved, got out of the way in time. Three casualties in this race, not making the hour and a half. How challenging it can be. BDW does have a lot of fuel. In fact, he's got more fuel than the leader. Close on double. And more fuel than Wimpy. So he has the heaviest car on track in terms of fuel. TnB's just lost it there on the final corner. Difficult corner. Looks a lot easier than it is. Looks like one of the simpler corners on the track, but it's really not. You can lose it very quickly. Definitely not an easy circuit. You can see how quickly these guys lose it when they get too heavy on the curbs. This is obviously the Hockenheim Classic layout, 6.8 kilometer layout. But there was a track before this one, and that was originally 12 kilometers long. So tracks have gotten a lot shorter over the years. Just looking for Nizmax there for a second. The camera got a bit lost, but there he is. I actually think that's been one of his big strengths at this track. Just, that Ost chicane, he gets it perfect. No issues there through the center chicane. Obviously got a good feeling around this track. Only that Wimpy got a drive-through penalty for exceeding track limits. I don't think he'll be too concerned about the penalty. All he needs to do is finish the race, and he's going to be on the podium. got your 3 runners in the same order. Nizmax first, DW second. He won't be holding on for 3rd place. Looks like he's going to do the distance. Let's have a lap with Nizmax on board. Going through the Nord curve, or turn 1. Accelerating up towards the Clark chicane. Watching the top speed there. Top speed briefly hits 264 kilometers an hour before he hits the brakes for the Clark chicane. Nicely done. Not too much curve, just enough. Now accelerates down to the next chicane, which is the Ost chicane, probably the most difficult chicane on the circuit to master. And very nicely done, very strong in that part of the circuit. Now it's heading down towards corners 9, 10 and 11, otherwise known as the center chicane. And again, just so strong in the chicanes. All 3 chicanes in this lap, just getting just the right amount of curve and good acceleration out of the chicane onto the straight. Now goes into turn 12 or a gap corner. That's the entrance to the stadium section. And around the Sachs curve. Heading down now, turns 14, 15, 16, and that takes you back to the pit straight. So we look at the current best lap. 2091. Gavin had the best lap. He's dropped out of this race. Right on board with TnB DW. As he enters the Nord curve. It's a little bit wide over the curves there. Now I'm done. No grass on the tyres. The light now starting to take some effect. Yeah, he takes this block chicane. Seems a little bit more tentative on the brakes there than when this Max goes around. Approaching now the Ost chicane, part of the track that I say is quite crucial. Took the Ost chicane pretty much very close to Max, maybe just a little bit more curve there on the inside. And now into the center chicane. Definitely has some different lines through the chicanes. Max tends to attack that first corner a little bit more. Into turn 12, the gap entrance to the stadium section. Slows down for the Sachs curve. And not quite sure what that is. Not sure if the drivers are seeing it, but I'm pretty sure I saw something standing in the track. We'll see that on the stream later. It's under 10 minutes remaining now. 9.5 to be exact. No, I've definitely just seen it again. Simply now going through the Sachs corner, and on the exit of the Sachs corner there seems to be a member of someone's pit crew standing in the middle of the circuit. Very peculiar. car's really looking amazing now. As it gets darker, as the car lights come on, and the liveries start to shine. This Max still in control here. 2.5 minutes clear of second place. Had an interesting race though. At one point in the race things didn't look good. Got involved in a collision with Gavin, who was second at the time. Came off second best. And had to make a rather lengthy pit stop, and he's come back. He's found himself in first place again. Just 6.5 minutes remaining on the clock. Not long to go now. Give or take 3 laps. I'll let you enjoy some of the sounds of these cars, and I'll be back with you in the last couple of minutes. And we're back. We've got 2 minutes and 20 seconds remaining on the clock. It's been an eventful race. We've had collisions. We've had lots of damage, long pit stops, and lots of changes in position. We've lost 50% of our runners. Although that does sound dramatic, we started with 6, we now have 3. But Nismax still in the lead of the race, in control of the race. Looks like he shouldn't have any issues there. He's in the first of those Audis. Second place, TnB, the second of the Audis. It's going to be a strong showing on the constructors' points. Quite the start. And then in third place, got Wimpy holding on. 50 seconds remaining. It's done fantastic to get to this point. And he's been doing a lot of this with no back wing, and it's been a few laps, okay. Ten seconds to go. Let's just join our leader. Unfortunately, I'm not 100% sure here. Time has run out. Do they finish the lap they're on, or do they have one more lap? Well, we'll soon find out. As Max goes around the final corner, seems like we've lost Wimpy. He's been disqualified. And that's the race win. Nicely done, Nismax winning the season opener at the classic Hockenheim circuit after an hour and a half. He's the man to get over the line first. It's been a difficult race. Let's see where DW is. So just going over the line, flashing his lights. He goes second over the line. It's going to be first and second for Audi. The only 2 to finish, but it's going to look good on the points. Well, there we have it. That's the end of round 1 of season 1. TnB Project Cars 2. Hope you enjoyed it. And we'll be back same time next week. Thank you. Cheers, guys. Thanks.